do want to show you just a little bit of some advocacy resources that you can find online. And I'm Kim Wells. I'm the acting webmaster for the League of Women Voters of Delaware, which is a very powerful sounding title, but perhaps a less glamorous position. I'm going to show you the League of Women, our own website, the LWVDE website. So this is our website URL. The official URL is my.lwv.org/Delaware. We also have a shortcut, LWVDelaware.org, and I'll post those in the chat after I'm done sharing. But if you don't remember any of that, you can just go to your browser and search for LWV Delaware. And it'll come up near the top, this one that says Milo, that's us. Our homepage has, if you scroll down, current articles and upcoming events, but what I want to show you is this page on the left, our advocacy. And this landing page here talks about the Advocacy Corps, which is a group of League volunteers who research bills, and some of them become volunteer lobbyists, and we advocate for bills in front of the Delaware General Assembly. If you want to know what the League feels about an issue, you can look at these 3 items here: our underlying positions, papers we've written about our specific positions, and testimonies we've given on bills in front of the General Assembly. But what I want to show you today is under Advocacy Resources. So I have clicked under Our Advocacy and then under Advocacy Resources on the left. And this is a great quote by Don Quixote, but what I want to show you is 3 things today. I want to show you first this video under the videos heading. You should have seen it. It came out with the invitation to this today's meeting. It's a little 5-minute teaser video, and one of the great things it has is a well, you're not going to be able to see my hand while I show you this. It's got a 5-finger mnemonic, 5 things that you should see from that you should remember to say when you speak to your legislator. Your thumb is introduce yourself. Your first finger is what is your issue. Your third finger is why is this issue important to you. Your fourth finger is why should this issue be important to your legislator. And your 5th finger is your ask. What is it that you want your legislator to do for you as a result of this meeting? I think Ruth Briggs King mentioned that a little bit along those lines, but this video here goes into that in more detail. Now, under publications, I want to show you 2 things. The first is the They Represent You publication from the League of Women Voters. This is a list of the contact information for all of your representatives from the national level to the state level, governor and so on, to your own state senator and General Assembly member. There's another version of this on our county website in Newcastle County that also has the county representatives, and it has their address, phone number, email, maybe a little bit more contact information than what you'll see when Linda shows you the General Assembly's own website. And finally, I want to show you the Lobby Handbook. Now, let me make this a little smaller. The Lobby Handbook is a joint publication by the League of Women Voters of Delaware and the Office of Women's Advancement and Advocacy. And this book is a great place to start if you don't really know your way around Delaware or the General Assembly. It has practical information that's really important. Like when I first started my advocacy journey, I didn't know things like the General Assembly in Delaware only meets half the year. So I would be calling up my legislator's office and no one was ever answering, and I didn't understand why. Well, you have to call at very specific times if you want someone to pick up the phone. You have to call between mid-January and June when the legislature is in session, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the days they're in session, and in the morning, because in the afternoon they're going to be tied up in committee meetings or on the House floor or the chamber floor. What else was I going to mention? Oh yeah, I didn't know that any citizen, any resident in Delaware can just go watch the General Assembly in action. The handbook has what you can expect if you go down to Legislative Hall. You know, practical stuff. They're going to run your purse through a metal detector, and then this is going to happen, and so on and so on. Another useful tidbit in there is how you address a formal letter. Like if you want to write a letter to the president or the governor, probably "Hey Joe" isn't the right way to address them, but how do you address the letters? So there's a lot of great information in here, and I would encourage everyone to go to our website, follow the path that I've shown, Advocacy Resources, Publications and Videos, and take a look. Linda's
Okay.
for you the state of Delaware resources that are readily available to advocates.
Thank you, Kim. Let's go to the search engine here, and to find the state of Delaware's website, you can click on that. Our website, if you've never been there, is a wealth of information, tremendous coverage of all kinds of things, with, of course, a lot focused on the COVID pandemic right now, great information about that. And I hope that all of you have taken time to look at it and will again after this meeting. But I want to point out just a couple of things for the citizen advocate. I find this area down at the bottom very useful in getting me to where I want to go. And the first area that I want to show you is the one dealing with public meetings. All state agencies and councils, advisory boards are required to post their meetings and give information so that the public can view those meetings. And most of them are being conducted by Zoom right now. And it's organized by date, of course, and then the specific events taking place on each date. And just to click on one, the Council on the Blind, you get information here about how to link on and view the meeting. You get to see the agenda. And very often public meetings will allow for public comment when the meeting is over. But this is an extremely valuable resource for the citizen advocate. The other place we want to focus on is the General Assembly. And that takes us to another site that is a great wealth of information. We talked earlier about some people not knowing who their legislator is. There is a place on this page where you can find that information if you don't know. You have to enter your address. So let's just enter one, just one that I thought might be good. And we click on that and we find the names, of course, our federal legislators, the state legislators for that district, their email address, and the district they represent. If you want to find their phone number, that is not listed here. But to get to that information, you would go to one of the bullets up at the top. And if you click on Senate, you can get a list of all the senators. And all of them are listed here. And when you click on each one, you will find their phone number and again, their email address. So this is a handy source of information. Going back then to the general page, I think, here we go. The other thing that we wanted to particularly point out on this page is how to find a bill. Many times you will not know the bill number, although Representative Briggs King said sometimes she gets questions with just the bill number and she'd rather have the topic. Most of the time people will not know the bill number. And so you can look up by subject, and just to pick one that's been of interest to the league, minimum wage. Did I spell that right? Minimum wage. And we can see if there's any bills on minimum wage, and certainly there are quite a few of them. And this gives us an overview of the status of the bill, the number, introduction date, general title, its status, whether it's passed, and that sort of thing. Let's look at one that is still open. Here's one dealing with minimum wage for employees who rely on tips. This page gives you a great deal of information. You can find the bill itself when you click on this link. And going further down, you can see that this bill has been assigned to a particular committee. In this section, you will see the whole history of the actions on the bill. Let's try another subject, which I thought we'd see if it's in here. Equal rights for women. See what kind of bills have come up in the state legislature on this subject. Whoops, nothing on equal rights for women. Well, let's try another topic and go with something a little more general, just equal rights, and see if that gives us a bill. And there we find several bills that have dealt with equal rights. And again, you click on any one of these and can get detailed information about the bill. Going then back to our general page, wanted to point out, as you can see, there are many headings across the top, and you click on those, you'll get a drop down with lots of specifics. For instance, here, if you want to look up our Constitution, you will click here and find the actual text of the Constitution. You can click here for the Delaware Code and find the actual text of all of the Delaware laws currently in effect. Committees, again, those are all listed and so on. I don't know, do we have any questions? No questions about this. All right, well, I think that I don't want to go into all this, which you can take the time to look at on your own, and I hope you will explore all of that and find the information that you're looking for. That brings us to the end of our program, and we hope indeed that this has given you some ways, paths forward to become a more effective citizen advocate. And of course, one final plug for the League of Women Voters. We are always looking for new members. We're looking for new members in our Advocacy Corps, which is a subset of the League where we focus in on what the General Assembly is doing. We take positions on new bills, argue the pros and cons of them in our meetings. Everybody has a chance to bring their issue forward, and then we decide what our position is going to be. I hope that some of you will think about joining us. On our website, there is a membership form. You can join there. And there's also a place under Advocacy Corps where you can send a message to me specifically, and I can follow up then with more information about the Advocacy Corps.